2, 1, go.
Welcome back, guys. This is Sarah.
And I'm Erika.
And we are under fucking staffed.
Yes. We are Understaffed, the podcast about not having any hands or hours, and your bed just isn't very good.
We are never going to get the intro right, and at this point, I'm not upset about it.
It's part of our brand.
It's part of our lore. It is part of our lore. Thank you so much for being here, 100%. Yes. And for those of you that haven't caught on to our link tree yet, book club. We have merch. Merch has launched. Welcome to the merch of Living Understaffed. It is the best thing ever. I'm so pumped. We're also on weekly episodes. We're almost a month into our weekly episodes, and I fucking love that I love that for us, and I love that for you, for listeners, because you're welcome. And what Discord? You're more than welcome to join our Discord. We've got music recommendations going. We've got book recommendations going, podcast recommendations going. And then we have all of our merch announcements in there too. So guys, the understaffed part of our lives is legitimate, but we've got some fancy hands going on the computer. So we're doing okay. We're okay, but we're still, the struggle is real. So Erika, how have you been understaffed this week?
Well, I've just been really busy. So I am newly single, so moving and packing all my stuff and, generally just getting accustomed. Plus, have I slowed down on anything at all? Absolutely not. No, I'm still
of course
recording. We're actually recording extra because we're those kind of people. And, dancing just the same, going out with friends, generally, like today, I woke up. I was like, okay, I'm going to get everything done. I went to Starbucks and I worked on podcast stuff. And then I got my nails done. And then I don't even know what happened. And I got home at 3 and I was like, I haven't actually eaten today. So I had a Monster first because priorities. And then you're drinking a latte right now.
First of all, whore. It is a honey citrus mint tea from Starbucks because I have walking pneumonia. Thank you so much. Fuck you. Do continue. For the record, I'm going to take a picture of this fucking label and I'm going to put it in there because it 100% says honey citrus mint tea. So I want to slam my drink down, but this whole fucking setup that I have going on right now is going to fly. We're just not, no, I can't slam it down. Anyway, so what did you end up eating for food? Please and thank you.
Oh, I had rice and ground beef and rice and spinach, which my lovely sister made for me because I suck at feeding myself.
Oh, that's really sweet.
She's the best.
That's really sweet. At least you had decent nutrition to put into your body. So that's good.
If it was me left up to my own devices, it would be a Red Bull and a large Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah, peanut butter M&Ms. I would appreciate.
Yeah, also they have 8 grams of protein. So follow me on my fitness journey. Thank you very much.
Don't do that. God damn. Oh my God. So
my bad. No, it's my bad. How have you been understaffed?
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Okay, well, I'm sick. Again. So I went to DC and came back, and 2 coworkers that were also in DC with us immediately sick. They were sick the very first few days after DC. For me, all of DC and 3 weeks before DC, I was boosted my vitamin C because I'm we travel with a bunch of students. We're traveling through a few airports. I'm not getting sick on this trip. And it was my first trip to DC with this job. So I was like, oh, no, 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 no. There is nothing that's going to stand in my way. Um, so I skirted illness for about a week after DC. And then I woke up last week on Thursday. I woke up Thursday in the morning and I had been mouth breathing for God knows how long and had cotton mouth. And I was like, oh fuck. And when you know that you're going to get sick where you're just like you can feel it in your throat or you can feel it in your chest or like your sinuses are draining and shit. I knew it. Like I knew when I woke up that I was like fuck. So I immediately, drank more vitamin C packets. I immediately drank an ass ton of tea to try to get ahead of it or at least try to skirt it a little bit. And I will say I think that I've had less of whatever bug this is than my coworkers because it ended up being 3 of the 4 other coworkers that we went to DC with all got sick and then me. So now um the diagnosis is walking pneumonia. Great. Super. Love that for me. Not genuine at all.
Yeah.
And I can tell that like my oxygen capacity is less. So like me talking for the last, 2 minutes, I'm already like, oh, okay. Like when Erika starts talking again, I'm going to move away from the microphone for a minute and like do some breathing exercises because I'm like already kind of winded and it's awful. It's awful. And my voice, like, especially in the morning, is super scratchy. I sound like a man, or it's the perfect time to record some audio, some erotica audiobooks. I don't know. I haven't done that yet because I'm still working my job because I only took 1 sick day because also kill me.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's been a fucking week. Nobody likes being sick. Nobody enjoys being sick. Absolutely. But it just feels overwhelming in a sense of like I have a bunch of podcast stuff to do. I had a date this week. I like um just me cooking dinner for someone was exhausting, And the shitty thing is like especially for me as a human that is fairly active and very involved in my job and like very, whatever. I get to work at like 6 in the morning and was it so Monday I called in sick to work. Tuesday, when I got to work, I was there about 6:15. By 9 a.m., my legs were wobbly because I was just done. I was exhausted. I was ready to sleep. So I slept. I took a car nap. There's a picture somewhere on social media. I took a nap in my car because I was like, I can no longer stay awake. Can't do
Mm-hmm.
it. And that was it was like a 35 minute nap and I drooled on myself. I was that hard asleep. It was insane. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody likes being sick, but man, it does, to be fair, it does feel like I'm on the other end of it. I feel like I'm on the downhill for sure, but God, it's been, it's been a week. So
Also, to be fair, I love a car nap. I really do.
I figured out a spot in my back seat and I have an Equinox. So if you put the passenger seat uh all the way back or pretty like we'll say 5/8 of the way back. I'm not good at fractions, let's get real. So if you put oh my god, kill me. If you put the seat back far enough, I can sit with like leaning against the back seat door with my
Mm-hmm.
feet up over the headrest of the front passenger's seat and then with a neck pillow and I keep pillows in my car like furniture pillows in my car and if you situate it all right it feels like you're just in like a little like an egg chair kind of thing with your feet elevated and it is perfection.
This is my lovely sister Emma. I do occasionally refer to her as Goob or Goober. My bad. I think I'm the only one that calls you that.
Yeah.
But I've been calling her that literally her entire life. So,
I love
yeah.
it.
You earned it. Your wives still have hands.
That's true.
She pulled me out of a fire when I was 2. My dad left her in charge at 10 years old, and I was walking around the edge of the pit, and she was like, "Don't do that, you're gonna fall in." And I was like, "Don't tell me what to do." And I fell in, and she pulled me out. I still have a sweet scar.
Sweet scar. First of all, who started the fire? Why was there a fire?
My dad. It was like hot coals.
He just didn't put the fire out.
Yeah.
So we were having a bonfire, and just he left his children unattended around a bonfire.
Hopefully he doesn't listen to this.
He doesn't know about it.
All right.
Hopefully. I just got recognized at work. So,
He's
like,
an hockey or something.
Also, even if I told him about it, he wouldn't listen.
that's
also, if he does listen, then he's going to find out his daughter's nipples are pierced, and that's going to be worse for him than me.
True. True. Not wrong. So this is actually also the first time that I'm like meeting Emma too. So I'm pretty pumped about this because first of all, Erika has mentioned you 100 times on the show so far. I mean we've both talked about our families fairly extensively. So but this is great that you guys are like in the same room. So that's really cool. Yeah. So how we kind of gave our stories about like being understaffed. Do you have anything from the last week or the last couple of weeks to make you understaffed?
Well, I had to pack up my whole house and leave it all at home in Washington, and then without really like a super solid plan, drove across the country. I did go the scenic routes. I took 101 and saw the Oregon coast. And
That's
some
good.
Highway 1, but it's very like upsy downsy, and it was difficult to get off of. But yeah, driving across the country, I thought I was going to end up in Atlanta, and that was not an ideal situation. Like, and I looked for housing, and all I found were scams, and I called my sister. I was like, I'm on the East Coast, I don't know what to do. And so here I am, and I got a job in like 5 days, I think.
5 days.
At a tea shop, but here, like, you're lucky to make more than $2.13 an hour, like, at doing customer service, which I've been doing since I was 15, for like 12 years.
Yeah.
And I've been bartending for the last 4 and serving for 8. And then here it's like you're graced with the opportunity to be in a place for just the tip, if you're lucky. So,
woo!
Yeah,
that does take some luck. That's for sure. Oh god. Tricky. Well, I mean, good on you for getting a job in like 5 days. That's super dope. Yeah, how often does that happen for anybody these days? Hardly at all.
I hope it works out. It's like a tea and cocktail bar. They want me on the register, and I'm not used to doing that unless I'm like running the whole little shop. Like, I'm kind of used to working by myself. And now I need to project like often. I'm really soft spoken. And there's all these like systems, but they don't make any sense. It's kind of just like how they've been doing it. Like the menu doesn't match the register, which doesn't match. There's like the tea wall, and that is not organized. Nothing. It's chaos. They just sort of throw you into hot water and see how you do.
I couldn't work there. I would die.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same. I think it's my administrative brain. I'm like, no. I've fixed it.
Yeah, I'm just like, fix that. Like, no.
Side note, let me pull this up. So this guy was flirting with me, and he wasn't really doing a great job flirting, but where is he? He said, I was talking about my job and how much I love spreadsheets. We all know how much I love spreadsheets.
Absolutely.
And he said, it sounds like you thrive on problem solving and optimizing processes. And I'm like, not a good pickup line, but I'm going to put that on my resume.
100%. 100%. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Oh my God.
Yes. Because I am all of those things.
That's
Thank you for
correct.
recognizing my talents.
We love a specific compliment.
We love a specific
Yeah,
compliment.
the fact that it comes across initial impression is not sexy, but then you think about it and you're like, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
Like I know outside I'm sexy, but my brain is sexy too.
correct. Correct. This is why we get along so well.
We both have incredibly hot brains.
Yeah. Takes a real man to fucking figure that shit out. Let's Jesus Christ.
Emma's been here. We've both. I think my favorite part about Emma being here and us both being single is that the same dudes show up on our Tinder profile.
Oh my God.
I have never used dating apps before moving here, but I figured
Me
like
neither.
it's a military town, and I've like just moved here. It's been a little rough.
Emma also is not affiliated with the military at
No.
all. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was, married to a service member for a long time, and so was Sarah. Emma was not. She doesn't.
It's different. They don't know anything about women or our bodies or how our brains work, how to talk to women like they got human beings.
I love you so much right now. It's so funny because I'm listening to you remembering 2 years ago after all of my things were finalized that I'm like, "Oh, I could try an app." And I'm like, "You're a moron. Moron. Moron." Like, what the fuck who are these people? Where did they come from? Like,
Why
what
don't
are we
they do
doing?
anything? Who has
Yeah.
enabled you for this long?
Yeah. Like, dude. There's also been like the number of people that expect me to like iron their uniforms before going to work, and I'm like, I don't even own an iron. Who
I've never done that in my life.
who do you think you are? And what's funny is there's a lady that I work with that her and her husband have been together for 27 years. She irons his uniforms every day. And I'm like,
No,
ugh, gross. I would
I
never
would
do that.
never.
I would not. Like, cheers to the future boyfriend, because I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, friend.
I don't even know how to use an iron.
Me
Yeah,
neither. I've never-
exactly. Oh, I know how to use an iron. I know. I grew up sewing. I grew up with a sewing machine. I still have both of my sewing machines. Thank you so much. Like, I can use an iron. I am not ironing your military uniform that you wear every fucking day. Absolutely not.
Yes. Yeah, I had this coworker and he never cooked. But his wife also worked. She worked full time. And whenever she went on vacation, she would like make casseroles for him to keep in the freezer.
That's it.
No.
What I don't understand is it's not that fucking hard. Like, how honestly, how difficult is it to go get a pot roast, go cut up a couple of potatoes and a few carrots and an onion and just put it in the fucking crock pot and let it cook by itself? You don't have to do anything but cut the vegetables and open the packaging. That's it. I don't understand like how people are so not self-sufficient for themselves. Like, how have you survived this fucking long? I don't. How? How has the world not eradicated you from the face of the planet because you can't even take care of
Your mother.
yourself?
It takes two. It takes two.
You're
It's him
oh
and
my
his
god. I'm sweating. I can feel a piss coming through. I cannot.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not you.
And here's the thing is I think one of my love languages is acts of service. I love being able to like provide for a person. Like what my roommate, the boy toy that I had at the house. We cooked dinner and she was here with one of her friends and we fed them. Like we cooked together. We fucking brought them plates at the table. We brought them bread and butter and we like, hey, do you want a drink? Hey, here's a napkin. Hey, here's some silverware. Like I like doing that kind of stuff, especially if I'm dating, especially if I have friends. Like I love doing that kind of stuff. But if that is the general expectation from my person, from my boyfriend, from my spouse, whoever, if that's the general expectation, then like, what are you doing for me? And I know that's not how acts
Yeah.
of service works, but like if that's the general expectation and I am understaffed or I'm going through a mental health break or I'm depressed or I'm really anxious or I'm really busy at work, what are you going to do when I can't provide dinner? You're just going to go get a fucking pizza? Which is okay sometimes. I'm not negating that, but like that's literally what you're going to do every single time because I struggle with depression. I struggle with anxiety. I'm always fucking busy at work. I have podcast things like you're really? So for me, ah! Oh my god.
Relatable.
Yeah.
I cannot.
We also should do, I just thought about this. We should do an episode on this, but it was a podcast episode. It was really long. I'll listen to it. I have notes on it. But it's like they're talking about the different kinds of relationships. So like when you're young,
Oh, cornerstone, capstone.
yeah. And there's a third one and I don't remember what that one's called. But the first one is like you're building a life together, and the second one is you're like validating each other, and then the third one I don't remember what that was. But like um the whole point of it is that's when you see a lot of relationships break down at that, when you no longer need each other to like build your life together, but you no longer transition into the like validating each other.
Yeah.
And I can definitely tell in my like point in my life where I'm like, these are things like I'm independent enough, like I can, you know, afford to live by myself, and I can like I have a good job, and I've done a lot of things in my career, so I don't need somebody. Like when my ex-husband and I started dating, we needed each other to like pay rent. And I think a lot of people are like that when you're like in your early 20s, and we don't need that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm definitely a lot pickier because like sometimes someone will say something and I'll be like, sir.
Oh no. Oh no.
Um,
Was it you and
yeah,
me that just had this conversation?
probably.
No. This is my roommate. When we were talking about dating and we were like, divorced in my 30s, mingling, dating where I can. And like for me, being picky is I get sick pleasure out of it because
Oh,
if said person like say I'm talking to somebody and red flag, which happens all the time, right? Red flag fucking comes through the roof. Like for example, and Emma, welcome to the dating world. Erika, thank you. Welcome to the dating world. It kind of sucks sometimes. There's so many married men that are pretending to be fucking single. Can we talk about that? Oh, so
I have a sure. I If there are any single men out there, send me a picture of your bed frame. I'm not going to get any because single men don't have bed frames, or at least they don't have headboards. They don't have headboards. If a man is sending you pictures and he's talking to you and he takes a picture of himself in front of a headboard, he's married. I
So
promise.
for listeners, I need to know if this is factual. The majority, and here's what's crazy to me is we talk a lot of shit about men, and now especially that Erika, that you're single, we're gonna be talking a lot of shit about men. The fact that the key audience of this podcast is men from 26 to 38 ish baffles my brain. Like, I don't know if are you just like, do you just like hearing it and then in the inside you're like, not all men. Okay, fucker. Like, got it. Not all
Or
men.
they're here for our PSAs.
Let's hope. Let's fucking hope. So the men that are actually listening to this shit, do you have a headboard? Yes or no? And are you married? Because we'll figure it out. It's not that fucking hard to figure somebody out. This last guy that I fucking dated, guess how we figured out that he was married? His fucking Facebook profile picture, who had the most beautiful goddamn wife I've ever seen in my fucking life. Also in the picture were 4 children. Had to be under the age of 8, all of them. Disgusting. 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 Okay. I'm gonna say this as like a caveat because we talk caveats and we do talk devil's advocate on a regular basis. For the people that are out there that are choosing the open marriage life, you do you, boo. Like that, I'm not judging that. I have friends that have that lifestyle or that live that lifestyle. I'm not judging that. But like for somebody to be deceptive, to not be open with the fact that they are married, disgusting. I just think that is so gross. And I feel gross for seeing him. Like, it just boils my blood. So,
yeah, everyone needs to be aware of the situation.
correct.
Yes.
So,
or you're being shitty.
yeah. So, Emma, now that you are dating in a military community,
Oh yeah.
in a military community, you're also at a pretty decent size training installation, and a lot of those people, like, they're traveling for their job, and so O's in different area codes very much applies.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if we're overwhelming you. I apologize.
I don't know if I'm looking for like a boyfriend. I've struggled to find a man that is good in bed. like no, like they know. Hopefully, they know about the clitoris, but they don't know what. It's not just one spot.
Yeah.
It's like you can Google it.
They Google it.
Dude,
I was talking about this
or like asking you, like, what do you want? When I'm trying to shut my brain off, I'm trying to tune into like the feel goods, and it's like, shut your mouth, please. Yeah, I'm trying not to think. I know, and you're ruining it.
Oh my God. I love you so much. That's true. No, it's very true.
Well, remember when we were talking about it with Meg Becker? She wrote Tasting Sin. That book is fantastic. Literally
so hot.
And we were like, I think all men are vaguely aware that women have faked an orgasm with them, but they do not know how often it happens. And Meg was like, I don't think they care. And I'm like, at the time I was like, they do. And now I'm like, no.
But they want to be a good boy. They want to be good at the things that they do, which is why we fake it for them so they don't feel bad.
Oh,
they can
okay.
tell if they didn't.
Okay. On the flip side,
No, they
okay. On the flip side, there are also men who are pleasers.
That's
and
true.
So oh God. So I went on a date while I was in DC, and buddy. Oh, and I beg to differ on some men, because the pleasing aspect of this person was next level delicious. So I can't. There are some men, yes. So far in my experimentation, if you will, which is the dating world of 2024, I would say more than 50% have no fucking clue. Have no clue. And I will say that now that I'm single in my 30s versus my 20s, in my 30s, I absolutely do not fake it anymore. Absolutely not. Because I'm not going to let them leave the room with ego the size of Texas when they don't deserve it.
Yeah. I also, being single in my 20s, granted, I started dating my ex-husband when I was 22. So I was really, really young when I was single. And Sarah, you were too, right? Like you were, how old were you?
We got married. We met when I was 23. We got married at 24. So
Okay,
I had like 5-6 years of single time.
Yeah. I mean, me too. But it's just like the level of like self-worth I have compared to what I had back then. Also, Emma will attest to this, as being single in the same small town that I was single in. There is maybe 8 men that are even remotely dateable. Say dateable.
We're gonna say dateable, not married, has manners, has a job, has all of their teeth, maybe has a car. Because over the summer I dated a dude that didn't even have a fucking car. All of these things. Oh my God. And I am a huge fan. We did an episode, we mentioned this a while back. It is okay to have high standards because someone will reach them. Someone will meet them. However, few and far between thus far. And sometimes you just need a stand-in because
Yeah.
sometimes you just need a stand-in.
There, I saw this on Instagram, I think, where it's like, I know my worth, but sometimes I have a little sale. And I'm like, ooh,
Correct.
correct. But in where we're from, it's an island and it's a small town. So there are times when there is nobody that meets your standard. And all the
Erika,
men there are garbage.
I
Like,
live in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
that's fair. It's smaller than Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Understood. I do
I
understand
get
that.
it.
But it's
It's
the
the same
same
vibe.
fucking vibe.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
awful. It's awful.
Good morning, Earth. It's time to get up.
Dial in for strange and wonderful stories told by even stranger and more wonderful people.
And remember, if you've heard it, it's history. If you haven't, it's news. I'm Blue.
And I'm Sky, and welcome to 87.9 WKMU, where you'll find all the things that keep me up.
From gaming and movies to UFOs and just random weirdness in our dimension.
So tune in at wkmu.podbean.com.
Yeah, and do it quick before the government shuts us down. We gotta go, guys. Just make sure you check on yourself and check on your friends.
And everyone deserves love, especially you.
This concludes our broadcast day.
So we were discussing the problem on the island is that, what did you say, Emma?
There's just like, it's like a small pool of medium ugly men.
A shallow puddle.
And a small but murky pool. And just a lot more just stunning creative women that are all like really lowering their standards to get treated poorly by
medium ugly men. Yeah, it's rough.
So let me ask you. Also this week we've been really busy at work. So last night we had a work event, which is why Erika and I are recording today instead of yesterday, are on a fairly normal. Well, no, that's not even a normal time. We just rescheduled because Sunday was a shit show. So last night we had a work event that we took students from different countries to like an elementary school, and we talked about Christmas around the world. It was so much fun. I had 7 students with me. It was phenomenal. First of all, Christmas around the world. I lived in Germany. I've experienced Christmas in different places, and it's really cool, So you get to go to a military town with all these students. So you watch students walk up to the Korean who are speaking fluent Korean, and the Korean students like, oh my God, you've lived in Korea, Same thing with Germany, same thing with Poland. So it's really cool. So anyway, we took the students out for dinner afterwards because that's kind of like the incentive of volunteering their free time, So we take them out to dinner, and the one guy from Colombia, he says when he was in like officer school, it's sort of like OCS, like officer candidacy school. They're also looped in with like baby soldiers while they're going through specific trainings, and nobody has their rank on. So everybody's supposed to be the same, right? And he said that the favorite of the baby soldiers was like, say you get like a question on a test wrong, you test horribly, you get fit, you fail a test, something like that. Mediocre is the word that he like hates. Like this kid, you watched his blood pressure and the red levels of his face just rise in the restaurant, right? So me and the other staff member are like, oh, so you don't like being called mediocre. So what about just like medium? How about like, oh, you're not top, you're just like halfway there. And so we this is what it reminds me of while you guys are talking about this shallow, murky pool of mediocre men, and these strong, beautiful women are like, well, maybe. Meh. All right.
It's lonely on an island.
I think I'd rather be single.
Dude, it gets old.
Yeah. It's back to that whole like, sometimes we need it. Like sometimes it's just a little treat. I need a little treat.
Yeah,
And
I'm thinking,
sticky little treat.
oh my God. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Correct.
God. I don't even know where we were going with that.
I don't know. We've been derailed, but in the best way. That was hilarious. Thank you. I also, okay, you guys have been more prepared for this than me, but like, sometimes I feel like men say things and you're like, does that work?
You mean in bed? You mean say things in bed? Is that what you're saying? What are you saying?
Well, both. Mainly on Tinder, because it's happened to me multiple times where a guy is like, I love your glasses. Can I come on them? And I'm like, sir.
It's sticky. It's messy.
Yeah.
Is he gonna clean them off for you?
That was my first question. Also, before you even ask, at least buy me a drink first. Like, Jesus Christ.
Can we
that's an in-person question.
Can we get a cup of coffee? Like, can we?
God, you tell me I have beautiful eyes. Something. Jesus Christ.
At least tell me you're looking at my eyes and not just my glasses. Like, we get it. Everybody has that, librarian fantasy. Got it. Understood. But like, have a little class.
I know. I have a picture on my Tinder of my glasses, and I might take it down because I get that exact sentence so much.
Really?
Yeah, it's happened to me like 4 or 5 times.
Hold on, I got you. Hold on one second.
Or I had another guy. Sarah and I, we have talked about this, but it's finally happened where a guy asked me if I would come over and be his dommy mommy. I'm like,
he asked you to be his mommy?
His dommy mommy.
Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not.
That just means he doesn't want to do anything.
Also, what I found incredibly insulting is that he wanted me to drive an hour so that he could be a good boy for me. And I was like, no. Or the amount of men that like ask me to peg them.
Oh, that does happen a lot. Surprisingly, it happens a lot.
What? So much. It's like, I would say 25% of dudes ask me. At least another 25% are like, don't go near my butthole. And it's like,
oh yes. Then there's
we want you to have a good time. It's okay. It's okay. If you like
there's also the men who are super open about like, I want you to eat my ass. I want you to. And I'm like, wow, we are going to 100 here. All right. Like,
I'm absolutely down with like, this is what I like. This is the type of dynamic that I like. This is what
conversation.
Like,
let's have open communication about it.
To not, exactly. And that's fine. That's great. I don't trust men to wash their ass though.
No. So since we're on this topic, there's a few Tinder profiles that I came across this on what the hell is this app called? On Reddit. And I was dying laughing. The title of the post is "Some of the hilariously worst Tinder bios I've come across since moving to Texas." And as a person who was single in Texas, can confirm that people are this fucking nuts. So the first one says, "If you have pronouns, swipe left." Not that serious, dude. Calm down. If you support vaccines, are woke, or pronouns, I will call you a retarded sheep. I want a real woman. Independent supervisor oxidizer at IKO, and I make more in a week than you do. Ew. This one. I constantly tell my kid's mom, who I live with, that we are going to be together forever and we are okay. But I stay steady cheating, and I've been cheating for the past 5 out of 11 years we've been together. I definitely won't stay loyal.
What?
Yeah, people are cute.
I bet he has a picture on his bio with him sitting in front of a headboard.
Probably.
This is one that I actually came across, and it's hilarious. Taking sugar baby applications. Apply now. Apply with your skills to be considered. My net worth is more than the last 4 digits of your phone number. I hope so, because max, that's $900.
$9,000.
$9,000. That's a used Honda Civic.
Emma's like 9,000. Her face.
So I don't know how. I am looking for someone who's comfortable embracing their feminine energy when I create the necessary space for it. Ew. I am aware of my value and I won't deviate from my standards and know exactly what I'm bringing to the table. I hope everyone knows how we feel about that. Align with my energy and we can achieve wonderful things together. Hard pass. Hard pass. The worst part is that he sounded so it was my net worth is worth more than the last 4 digits of my phone number. Sir.
Can
Sir,
we not?
I hope
Can
so.
we not?
Lord.
The ones I will say, when we're talking about standards, right? Like, again, we've made it clear. Sometimes you just need it. Like, sometimes we need a little sticky treat. Thank you so much for that, Emma. So, but like, I am an advocate for those people that are like, oh, I have high standards. And there's always those people that are like, oh, her standards are too high. Calm your tits. Like,
Yeah.
how many profiles have I come across that they're like, I don't like big women, swipe left. Or like, men get really upset about not being 6 foot tall. Don't put it in your profile. Here's the thing. I'm going to meet you in person. Like, what's your plan once you go to meet the person in real time? Like, clearly you're 5'4". But are you fucking
Yes.
serious? Like, don't put 6'1" on your profile. If you're not 6'1", who gives a fuck? Now, for me, do I want somebody who is taller than me? 100%. Like, absolutely I do. But also, like, this person has to have a job. This person has to have all of their teeth. This person has to, like, use punctuation when they fucking talk to me, right? Like, it sounds insane, but like, are for the people that like, I'm on an app, right? It's not Tinder, but like, I'm on an app, and for the people that don't fill out the little questions, for me, I'm like, you're just looking to smash, swipe left. You're just looking to smash, swipe left. Because if you can't even take the 10 minutes that it is to fill out the fucking profile and answer these silly little stupid questions, you are not worth my time. Because I'm putting the effort into it. You also should do that if you're looking for a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And then there's specific things like smokers. I won't date a smoker. A tobacco chewer. Won't do it. Sorry, not sorry. Like, if you smoke cigars every now and then, yeah, all right. But like, on a regular basis, no. If you're a weed smoker, nope. Sorry. Not sorry. Like, I'm not doing it. So, like, it's okay to have those high standards because you've lived somewhat of a life. You have life experience to fucking base that off of, and it's okay. The shitty thing that you have to accept is that it's going to take a minute to find someone who fits that mold. And that's also okay. But patience, God knows, is not my fucking strong suit at all.
No, same.
Seriously, I
And
have pit stains.
Also, I was talking to somebody at work. I do not talk about politics at work in general. For my own, if I don't want to know how you feel about certain things if I have to work with you. I don't want to have to know. I don't want to have to know that.
Shout out for Jason today for putting a fucking sticky note on my desk. You're grounded. Shout out to Jason.
Beware the J names.
And he was talking about how society was better when women didn't have as many options because now they're not getting married. And I was like,
I wonder why.
Why don't we address the fact that if women as a whole are not getting married, like, and it's true, like the marriage rate has gone down to like 40%. It's like, I think the marriage rate,
Correct.
I read this somewhere. I don't remember where. Could have been BuzzFeed. I don't know. Fact check me if you want. I think it's like 43% or something of women under the age of like 40 are married or something like that. It wasn't a high number compared to like much higher percentages previously. And
Sure.
it's like, why would women want to get married?
Correct.
Because there are all
Why
these statistics
would
like
we?
women who are married don't live as long. They don't make as much money.
Mhm.
They like there are all these disadvantages for women to be married, and it's the opposite for men. So it's like, why? What? They do more domestic labor. They do like all of those things.
Mm.
So why would they if they don't have? And especially this is probably like our generation. I think was the first ones, but definitely Emma's. Emma's younger than us.
I like how you're pointing at her, like her right there.
I mean, this is late stage capitalism, but
Mm.
You are not like you do not need a man to like be taken seriously. You don't need a man to, I mean, you do a little bit, but you don't need a man to like get a job. You don't need a man to buy a house. You don't need
Yep.
like you don't need those things. You don't like they aren't as like societally required. Like it's not required, but like it is. Versus like I think the younger and like what and those generations that don't need one, they're like, why would I want one? Like why would I? And I'm like, oh. And now men are mad about it.
Mhm.
Because we're like, no, I'm gonna be picky.
Mhm.
I would like to get married. I just haven't. I've been engaged twice, and both times went really, really bad.
Yeah, because they were trash.
Yeah.
Trash men, both of them.
I mean,
the second one was a steaming pile of garbage.
The first one was just just crazy. I did not see that coming. I don't know. It's hard, like, having standards for yourself and finding someone who's not just, like, fucking around or doesn't know what they want or doesn't want to have kids because the world is crumbling.
Or also,
Fair.
like, one thing that I struggle with, like, I will make standards for myself all day long. I'll be like, I would never put up with this. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. These are standards that I have for myself. And then I'll be in a situation where I'm like sticking to those standards and having enough like accountability to myself to be like, yes. It's like, yeah, but it's like, no, Erika. Remember, you have these standards for a reason.
Yeah, and it's a struggle too because you meet someone who has the potential, right? Everything's new and exciting and you're still in that like super honeymoon phase or whatever, has the potential to be really great, right? And so you have to ask yourself those questions like, okay, I have this standard and this person right now only reaches a certain level, right? And so you have to decide, do I need them to reach that standard that I have set? Or can I compromise and maybe try to meet them halfway, have a conversation with them about that? 9 times out of 10, I don't have a conversation with them about that. In my head, I'm like, well, I could make it work. It is very hard also to hold that standard, but there's certain things that I'm certain of. Smoking, no go. I will not date you if you are a smoker. That's no, absolutely not. Same thing with chewing tobacco. Absolutely not. If it's not disgusting to you, go for it. Do your thing. But to me, it's fucking gross. I don't want to lick the inside of an ashtray every time I want to kiss my person. No, thank you. Moving on. Right?
As a person who smoked and also used to date a smoker, it's gross.
Yeah, and it's not, and to those people that are dating or married or are smokers themselves, like, it's not a judgment. I have friends that smoke. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But for me, myself, and I, like, that's not something that I want. And that's something that I won't break on. But like, oh God, what's a good example? Someone who doesn't eat healthier. I'm not saying all the time. I'm not saying like I'm not saying that it's a deal breaker that you know that we're fucking eating 1,200 calories every day and like watching like no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is someone who says that they want to get better and then doesn't even try,
Mm-hmm.
or tries for a day or two and then is like, nah, fuck it, I don't need it. Like,
Yeah.
I want to live a long life, and choosing healthier habits is part of that. And so for me, that's one of those things that if that person chooses not to do those things, I'm like, well, I'm still making the right choices. You know? But in my head, I'm screaming at myself like right now, screaming at myself like, date somebody who eats vegetables. It's not that fucking hard. Like, I cannot. Like, it is insane to me how like people, including myself, are like in search of a partnership, of someone to like spend my time with, and the things that I'm willing to like give up as far as those standards. It I want to kick myself in the ass because I'm like, someone maybe will meet the mold. Someone will fill the mold, fit the mold, whatever the fucking phrase is.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm still like new enough at this that I don't feel like I'm not like I need to figure my own life out
Girl,
before I do.
you're in it for the D. Like
Yeah.
we want the D, we want the O's. O's for days.
Yes.
Got it.
Uh-huh.
100%.
So that's not something that I've really like considered that much yet, and I don't feel like I need to. However, you make
Agreed.
a really good point because I'm absolutely one of those people where I try to be very accommodating. And one thing that I have to watch out for, even like romantic entanglements aside, like even at work or like with my family or whatever, I'm like, will be overly accommodating, and then I'll be like, why am I doing this? Why am I at work on a Saturday? Why am I talking to my sister for an hour knowing full well that she's not going to listen to anything that I say? Not this sister, the other one. Uh like, why am I driving myself or like stressing out over somebody else's choices? Like, so that's just like a tendency that I have to be careful of when I do get to the point where I do want something with another person. But also, like, there are stuff that are absolutely non-negotiables for me that I've gotten pretty good about being like, this is necessary. You know what they are. I don't know if I'm ready to put them on the podcast, but but one of, like, for me, one of them is like, you have to wear a condom.
Yeah.
And it's, for me, it is about it. It's about the, like, that is what you have to wear one for
I mean,
my
first of all,
comfort.
safety.
Safety. Yeah.
Because
Safety.
the fucking culture of dating right now is sleeping around with whoever will sleep with you. And it's like, I'm not that person. Not going to happen. So, yes, please and thank you. Condom, because God knows, A, how many people you have actually slept with, but how many people those people have actually slept with. And this is
Yeah.
a small fucking community. We're not playing that
Yes.
game. No.
And it's
Can't imagine
not,
how it is on the island. No, thank you. Moving on.
yes, it's gross. There's a saying called, you don't lose your partner, you lose your turn. And that is accurate.
Oh.
I hate it when people say that too, because
It hurts my
say,
feelings. It hurts my feelings. Coming from a relationship that I was not regularly, but that I was cheated on multiple times, that hurts my feelings. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for that. It wouldn't be a true Living Understaffed episode if we didn't hurt each other's feelings. You're welcome.
That's true. We have to do it. It's part of our lore. It's part of our brand. But it's the condom is for safety, but also if you aren't willing to do a basic thing for my safety, what else are you not going to do in the moment that's going to make me feel more comfortable or for my safety or
Yes.
whatever. Like that is one of it's not it's like a litmus test also because like and before anyone comes at me and is like, well, you know, if you are concerned then you shouldn't be having sex, like, yeah, but this is why we choose the bears. Come on. Like
Correct.
like you if I never did anything with anybody that I thought may potentially murder me, I would never have sex again. And that is unfortunate.
And we talk about this. Like, how many times, like, oh God, how many times have we talked about like dating? And as a female, I will not let the person know where I live until I've like met them a few times and or been to their house, because there's also indicators for me. Like, if I go to this person's house and it is a fucking pigsty and it's disgusting, I no. But also, if it's a fling, if it's a short term type of thing, I'm going to go to your house cuz I don't want you at mine. I don't want you to know where I live. No. And same thing, like I work on a military installation. People know where I work. I talk about my job. It's the only place on post that does what we do. So like I don't want you to come to my house cuz possibly, especially if you're in the Missouri area. Oh God, please don't fall. Um, especially if you're in the Missouri area, you already know where I work. Like, ugh. So no, and it's funny because and of course there's always going to be the men that are like, no, all men. Fucking understand. There are some gems out there. Understand.
Enough.
But
Enough.
what I need men to understand is that it's like finding a needle in a haystack for some of those gems.
Well, it's
Like,
also like that you like it might not be all men, but it is a significant percentage of them. I've had two ex-boyfriends threaten to kill me. I've almost been kidnapped several times. And it'd be nice to have a little bit of empathy about why women would be nervous and not just take it personally.
yes.
Why would you think that of me? And it's like it's not a you thing, it's that you're
It's
a
the
man.
general population of men.
Yeah. Also,
Also, can we I'm gonna caveat this because are there crazy motherfucking women out there? Yes. Yes. Like I've told this story before, but like when my ex cheated on me the first time, okay? Literally found out that he was still in communication with his ex 7 days after we got married. I lost my shit. I became the most jealous human being I've ever been. And like fast forward 10 years later, we've gotten divorced, but there came a certain point cuz there was another incident in Germany, right? Several years later. There came a certain point that I got more relaxed and or didn't care. That it was like, "Oh, all right, you work with a bunch of females, you spend time with a bunch of females, whatever." You know, but that first like literally 7 days after our wedding, I found out about it and I was like, "You're going to be in charge of how many women? These people are calling you at all hours of the day, night, weekend, whatever. Are you fucking like I became insane." And I'll fully admit that. Like I'll fully admit that I was 24. Who the fuck do this is, all right, I don't know what I'm doing. But are there crazy motherfucking women out there that will go bang on somebody's door because they didn't get a text back or a call back or a second date or whatever? I'm sure there are. But like what Emma said, the percentage difference between the women who do it versus the men who kill, rape, sodomize, stalk, try to kidnap is significantly different. Huge gap. Thank you for
Yeah.
coming to my TED Talk.
And yeah. It always ends this way. Also that like men don't hold other men accountable.
no.
Yes.
And
Oh.
that's the thing that because I think we've all, especially when I was younger, like how a guy could do something awful and they're like, whoa, what did she do? And it's like I'm gonna be vulnerable for a second because I think people need to hear the story because it was shitty and other people need to be upset about it. When I think I was 21. I was 20 or I was 21. I don't remember. And I was still living in Colorado, and I was dating somebody that I was working with, which is why I have the no coworkers rule.
Mm-hmm.
He and I we didn't even date that long, and then we split up, and because we worked together, he would like constantly message me at work. Like we basically had Microsoft Teams, but it wasn't. And then like all the time, just like a flood of messages all day. And he would like wait for me when I left work, and just like he would wait outside the bathroom when I went to the bathroom. Like it was awful. And when I went to my manager about it, I was like, hey, this person will not leave me alone. Like, I don't know what to do. I am concerned because at that point he'd already called me from like my house being like, I'm setting your things on fire. And I went to my supervisor, and I was like, he literally just called me and told me that he was lighting my house on fire. And this is exactly what he said. I will never forget this for as long as I live. He says, well, Erika, I think you really need to think about what you did, because you're the best thing that happened to him in a really long time.
That's
Right?
It's fucking unfortunate that we reside in a society that accepts that kind of behavior. On the flip side, I do feel like women are coming more into their era of ownership and their era of gumption.
100%.
And so I appreciate that you even had the gumption to go to your supervisor and be like, this bitch is at my house trying to set my shit on fire. Because there are, including me, if that were me at 20 years old, I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah, and that also happened like 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago. And at this point, I think a woman, in my perspective, I don't think her manager would say that. I think we're far enough that they would, even if they're not going to do anything, they would at least be a little bit more empathetic. But also enough people would be like, that's bullshit. Like, that is unacceptable.
100%.
Me at work, and nobody, like, all my coworkers knew, and nobody like did anything about it. Like, nobody offered to walk into my car. Like, there was none of that. And I think at this point, other women would bond together with other women. Like, if I saw that, if you saw that, if Emma saw that, and most women that I know saw that was happening, at the very least, I would be like, girl, I will walk with you to your car. You know
At
what I
the
mean?
very least.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in that regard, it's getting a lot better. And I think men can't get away with it as much as they used to. Because I think even other men, to a certain extent, are like, that's unacceptable.
Yeah. And it's, it sucks too, because when you're looking at the population of women, regardless of dating situation, right? The population of women who can walk through a parking lot with keys in between their fingers. Do you know what I mean? I've done it. I don't know how many times. I used to work overnights at a Target like 100 years ago. Jesus Christ, this feels like forever ago. But even my coworkers that I worked with, I worked fucking overnight doing stocking, and there was plenty of times in the parking lot that I was like, oh, this motherfucker's following me, you know? And it was a small town in Iowa, but it's like that. It grosses me out. It really does. It grosses me out. It hurts my heart for the population of women that don't feel safe. And thankfully, yes, like what you're saying, I do think that the numbers are growing for that side of like, okay, men are disgusting, and you know, there's other men that are like, that would stand up and be like, you're doing the wrong thing. But on the flip side, I love that there's women that are coming into that era of ownership and that era of like, we're gonna stand on our own 2 feet and like, get the fuck out of my face. We choose the bear, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, such a rough conversation to have. My fucking blood pressure is just, dude.
Remember when we were like, oh, we'll do this because it's easy. Why do we do this to ourselves? It's me. It's my fault. But, you know, here we are.
Unreal. Yeah, we so for listeners, we it's been a week. It's been a fucking week, and we
It's
we
been a
were
month.
texting.
It's been a month.
Wow. We were texting ahead at like earlier this afternoon, and she was like, "Oh, we should do this topic because it'll be easy. I don't have to put hardly any work into it. Like we don't have to look anything up or research anything. Like fucking hell yeah!" And so we had planned on recording at 4:30. My dumbass, I get off work at 4:00. It takes me like 20 minutes to get home. So I play with the dog and I talk to the roommate for a minute, and then Erica's texting me like, "Bitch, are we still recording?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's 4:30." Oh, it's 4:30. Fuck. Like, not gonna be ready until 5. Like, my bad, dog. Like, oh, it's insane. And then we talk about this topic and we hurt each other's feelings, and then we're like, okay, see you next week. Like
Exactly. That's exactly it.
insanity. I cannot.
My feelings.
Good. I'm glad. We hurt each other's feelings all the time.
Oh.
Did she say
It's
that
fine.
we
If
didn't
they're-
hurt her feelings?
She can hurt my feelings.
Did you say that we didn't hurt your feelings?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're the guest on the show. You're welcome.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You're going easy on me.
Emma lives here, so hopefully she'll be a recurring guest.
Yeah. That would be
Mostly
dope.
because I love her, but also she's hilarious.
Well, maybe. The
Not
the numbers will tell.
right?
No, you did have a couple of bangers though. Like, I'm so pumped about the sticky treat. Oh my god. That was top. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, we need to do an episode where we put all of the we'll get some from like all of our friends of like names, like nicknames for what, because Emma does it too. She's just as bad as me.
Time out. Time the fuck out. We have merch. We can make a coffee cup or a coffee mug or a t-shirt that says I need a sticky treat and put one of those sticky bun emojis.
I love that.
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay, I will post that tonight. So for listeners, if you are hearing this right now, I believe this episode comes out before Christmas. There's still time to buy Living Understaffed merch. There's still time. So go to our link tree. Go check that out.
We'll have to buy some stuff and then we can model it because we're different sizes.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be
put it on
great.
TikTok.
That'd be great.
I need one that says it's part of my lore. That's what I say all the time.
Yes. Yeah. What's a good one? We have the You're Welcome shirts where it's in the front and in the back. I want to wear the one that's in the back because you're welcome.
Sarah has a top tier behind. It's excellent. That's it for us. Thank you so much for listening. We love you. We're doing this weekly because we love to do this and because we love you, and we have merch. Please buy our merch because it's great, legitimately great, and we're hilarious. Why not give that to your conservative uncle? It's the gift that keeps on giving. You're welcome. A little sticky treat, if you will. Remember, we have a book club. All the information is on our Discord, and click on our link tree. All of our stuff is there. We love you so much. Give us your book recommendations and music recommendations and literally any what?
Book club.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. Book club.
I didn't hear you. My bad.
Yes, book club.
I'm like book club. Let me show you.
Yes. We have live discussions about our book club, right? They're live discussions.
Yes,
in
in Discord.
In Discord. Yeah, and like us on social, send it to somebody you think would like it. And as always, we love you. Without you, we would be potting into the void.
Don't forget reviews.
What?
Leave a goddamn review. Leave a review.
Leave a review. And preferably a comment, especially that guy. What was his name?
Ford.
Oh,
Oh, I got you. Hold, please.
yeah.
Hold, please. Oh my God, this fuck. I mean, kind sir. Mm, mm, mm. Kale Heideke, 5232. We love you too, buddy. We sure do.
Had a piece of cake this morning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And I will have a little sticky treat this weekend. Just as I am.
Love you.
I love that.